Hello students, Miss Lockhart here. This is week 2 of our beautiful, warm, and cool sun and moon painting. So last week we did our drawing and we used warm colors on our sun with oil pastels or crayons. This week we're going to use cool colors like blue, which is what I'm using now, to outline our moon half. So I'm going to use dark blue and light blue and purple. I'm going to leave green out this time. I don't see how the green would work with the moon, but you're welcome to add it if you love green and you want to add some. Okay, once you've finished outlining in your cool colors and adding white, stars, or any other details you would like, we're going to start painting with watercolor paint. You're going to need a brush, a plastic water cup, and a tray of watercolors. You're also going to need a towel, whether it's cloth or a paper towel, to clean your brush. Okay, so let's get started. We want to always have a wet brush. And let's go ahead and wake up our paint, which means give it a few drips, a few drops of water from our brush. And that'll wake up the color and create a little puddle inside the color. Now, this is great also because you can use this technique to clean out any colors that might have been mixed. So if you get it drippy and wet, like the yellow, you can see there's a little bit of orange. I'm going to use my towel and grab some of that extra color out of there. Okay. Now I'll add more water so that I can wake up the nice fresh yellow, which is one of my warm colors I'll be using. So the warm colors are to the right, yellow, orange, and red. The cool colors are to the left of the yellow, green, blue, and purple. I'm still working on that. Yellow, I want to get nice and clean. No, we will not be using brown or black. So just the warm and cool colors today. My brush is ready. It has water on it. I'm going to start with the yellow, and it already had that little petal in it. I'm going to circle around inside so that I have a nice, colorful little puddle of paint. And I'm going to go ahead and start painting. Now, once I run out of color on my brush, I will go back for more. And once my brush and my paint gets dry, I'll add water like I just did. So continue to add water. All the time, you'll need to add more water. Water is the key ingredient to watercolor paints and painting. You'll know when you don't have enough water when your brush is dry. It'll make a funny noise on your paper, like a swishing noise. And the bristles will start looking unhappy, like a bad hair day. You may need to also add more water to your paint in your tray if your paint starts to feel sticky instead of liquidy and watery. Then you don't have enough water inside your paint color in your tray, which means it needs a little puddle, so add a couple more drips. You don't want sticky paint. Okay, so I've used some orange. Notice I grabbed some orange and some water. And I'm going to add orange to the inside of my sun. And I did some to the outside. You can use warm colors wherever you want inside your sun on the left side of your paper. Now, the more water you use, the more see-through your paint will be. And if you want, you can leave your eye white. I accidentally painted over my eye, but that's okay. So the more water, the more see-through, which is great because you do want to see a little bit of the light of the white paper coming through to keep the painting nice and bright. So don't forget that water. Okay, so I'm going to clean my brush between every color. So I put it in the water, and now I'm going to use some red. Now the red is going to be darker, so I have to be a little careful because I don't want to cover up all the details. Now I'm just going to use a little bit of red there. Look how it sort of spills into the sun's face. It's kind of pretty, but I'm going to move it around and sort of fill it in. So you can have fun and experiment with the warm colors over here on the left-hand side in the sun. Overlapping colors is really fun, so I just put red on top of orange. I also put orange on top of yellow in the sky around the sun. So have fun and experiment. Here's some red on top of the orange. Add water. Okay. So to clean your brush, you definitely need to wipe it on the paper towel and in the water cup. Do you see all that color that came off on the paper towel? Well, that's good. That means it didn't get in the water, which means the water will stay nice and clear so that it can clean your brush correctly. Because if your water is red, it can't clean your brush because your brush will just have red water on it. Okay, so my brush is looking pretty clean, which means I am about ready to start with my cool colors. So my cool colors already have a little water. Remember, I dripped water in it before. If you didn't drip your water, make sure you add water to each color before you use it. Now I'm gonna put it all around the sky on the moon side, which is the right side. And look how fun it is when you go over the oil pastel, especially the white, because it was invisible before, and now you can see those little stars if you used white for stars. I'm gonna use some water and add it to the purple because the purple is very dark, so you want to add a lot of water so it's not too dark right away. You can always make it darker later. I'm going to go ahead and fill in the sky with this beautiful purple, and it overlaps and it blends with the blue, especially if you used enough water. Then that when the paint is wet, it'll blend with the other paint next to it that's also wet, so that's fun. Fill up all of the white paper with your cool colors. I mentioned before I decided not to use green, even though it is a cool color. I don't want to use it in the moon because I imagine my moon to be more bluish purple, so I'm going to save the green for another time. But technically you can use the green if you would like. It's up to you. Okay, now I'm going to put some blue in the face. Oops, do you see how it went over the oil pastel? That's okay. I'm going to use my paint towel and just sort of dab it a few times until I get that water and color. Do you see there? I kind of rubbed it. I rubbed my towel on top of it and it's gone now pretty much. I'll go back over that spot later with the red when I'm done using the blue. So I've put a lot of water in my blue because I want it to be light on the moon. I don't want it to be too dark. If it's too dark, you'll cover up your details and your moon's features. Like you would cover up the eye if it were too dark. And maybe the blue cheek. Okay. My painting is almost complete. You may want more time. You can always pause it and continue to paint. If you have a small brush, you can always add little details and overlap. If you love watercolor paint, you can let this layer dry and come back to it and add more details with a darker color. Like you can use a darker blue on top and create little details after it's dry. Now I'm going to add some more yellow over here in the sun. That's also covering up that little white spot that was created when I used my towel to clean up the blue spill that got over onto the warm side. So I'm going to just go over it again with more color, which is something you can do on either your warm or cool side. Be sure to clean your brush if you do switch back over between warm and cool. If you mix warm and cool colors on accident, it won't look too bright. It'll turn dark, like a darker brownish color, which is okay too. You'll learn that way as well. Once you're finished painting, you're going to need to put it in a place it can dry. Leave it on top of a piece of scrap paper or cardboard so that it doesn't drip on anything. Do be sure to clean off your brush and carefully carry your plastic water cup to the sink. Then close your paint tray lid and go ahead and put that away. Thank you so much for your hard work. Cannot wait to see your beautiful finished warm and cool paintings.